Hello, everyone. Welcome to Glitter Goddess Yoga, also Library Yoga today. Um, I'm Trent. I'm also a member of the Glitter Goddess Collective. Um, Today we'll be doing Library Flow. Library Flow is a mixture of restorative and grounded flow. So yeah, grab a pillow, grab a blanket, get some water, stay hydrated, and we'll get started. Um, if anything feels uncomfortable in your practice today, feel free to go right into child's pose at any moment or any comfortable position that feels nice for you. Um, so, yeah. When you're ready, you can be in a comfortable seat. Cool. When you're ready, meeting in a comfortable seat. Relaxing the shoulders, spine reaching nice and long. Being mindful of the breath. And on your next exhale, we're gently going to drop the head to the right side, right ear to right shoulder, stretching the left side of our neck. Breathe into your stretch. And coming out of your last cycle of breath with control, we're gently going to bring the head back to center. And with control, we're gently going to drop it to the left side, left ear to left shoulder, stretching the right sides of our neck. Breathing into your stretch. And with control, we're gently going to roll the head forward. We're going to chin towards the chest. Stretching the backs of our neck. And rolling the head to the right or left side, so we're going to roll it all the way around. Engaging all the muscles in our neck. Being mindful of the breath here. And when you make 2 full circumductions, you can reverse. Go in the opposite direction. And with control, slowly bringing the head back to stillness. And from here, we're going to grab the right side, the left side of our head with our right arm, right elbow hanging heavy, stretching the left sides of our neck. Breathe into your stretch here. And on your last exhale, we're going to rotate the head, chin facing towards the armpit. We're going to grab the backs of our head. And with the right elbow, we're just going to let it hang heavy once more, stretching the backs of our neck. And on your last exhale, you can release. With the left arm, we're going to grab the right sides of our head. Left elbow hanging heavy. Head drop into the left side, stretching the right sides of our neck. Breathe into your stretch here. And on your last exhale, we're going to rotate the head, chin towards the armpit. We're going to gently place the hand in the backs of our head. Left elbow hanging heavy, stretching the backs of our neck. And on your last exhale, you can bring the head back to center. We're going to open up the arms wide. And we're going to cross over right over left, bending that left arm, dropping that right shoulder, and bringing that right arm as close to us as possible. Engaging with the right shoulder, breathe into your stretch here. And on your last exhale, you can release, open up the arms wide. We're going to cross over left over right, bending that left arm, right arm, and bringing that left arm as close to us as possible, dropping that left shoulder. And breathe into that left shoulder. And your last exhale, you can release. Open up the arms wide. We're going to bring out the arms in front of us, reaching out long. And we're just going to rotate the wrist. And reverse the rotation. Go in the other direction. From here, we're going to flip the palms, forearms facing out, fingers facing us, placing the palm into the floor or your mat. Engaging with the wrist, engaging with the forearms. Feel free to add some heat to the forearms, ease up on the tension. Still being mindful of the breath here. Flipping the palms, back to the palms facing to the floor. Fingers still facing us, pulsating the wrist by opening and closing the fist. Flipping the palms once more, fingers facing us, forearms facing out. Engaging with the forearms, engaging with the wrist. And you can release. You can gently shake the wrist out. Or clasp the hands together, rotate them, figure eight. And releasing. We're going to find our way to tabletop. So making adjustments to go to tabletop. If you want to bring your pillow or your blanket to go under your knees, you can do so at this time. Coming on all fours. Making sure we're stacked. Shoulders stacked on top of the wrist, hips stacked on top of the knees. From here, we're going to rise up the right arm, opening up the right side. Keeping the hips where they are, we're going to dive down into the left arm. Dropping the right shoulder to the floor of your mat. Engaging with your shoulder. In your ribs. Breathe through your stretch. And on your last exhale, we'll slowly make our way back into tabletop. Going back into tabletop. We're going to do the same on the left side. Rising up the left arm, opening up the left side, keeping the hips where they are. We're going to dive down under the right arm, dropping the left shoulder into the floor of your mat. Be mindful of your breath. And on your last cycle of breath, we'll slowly make our way back into tabletop. From here, we're going to widen our knees, bring our big toes to touch, sitting the hips down and back. We're going to go into child's pose. And still keeping this child's pose here, we're just going to crawl the hands over to the right side, stretching the whole left side body. Breathing through your stretch. And when you're ready, crawl the hands over to the left side, stretching the whole right side body. Breathing through your stretch. And when you're ready, crawl the hands back to center. You can still keep a wide child's pose, or if you want to bring your knees closer in, you can do so. and slowly making your way back into tabletop. And making sure we're stacked again. Shoulders stacked on top of the wrists, hips stacked on top of the knees. And we're just going to extend the left leg long, tucking the back toes. We're going to pulsate the back ankle, engage it with the whole left leg. And bringing that left leg back to meet the right. We're going to switch legs, extending the right leg long, keeping the left leg tucked in. We're going to tuck the back toes. We're going to pulsate that right ankle, engaging with the whole right leg. Warming up the legs. And keeping that right leg long. We're going to extend the left leg long, going into high plank. Now for modifications for high plank, you can bring your knees bring your knees to the mat and keep your core up and strong. Or you can have a strong high plank and come down to the forearms. But whatever you decide to choose, feeling strong in your high plank, engaging with the core, feeling strong here. And with control, we're slowly going to lower down to the mat or the floor. Placing the hands on the outsides of the armpits, elbows facing back. Pushing them to the floor, we're going to rise the head up, followed by the chin, chest. Engaging with the lower back. Relaxing the shoulders. Be mindful of the breath. With control, we're slowly going to lower back down towards the floor or your mat. And we're just going to rest here a moment. When you're ready, pushing into the ground, rising the head up, followed by the chin and chest. Engaging with the lower back. With control, slowly lowering back down towards the mat or the floor. From here, you can relax the arms by your side and just rest here for a moment. And coming back to the breath, we're going to tuck the palms by our armpits once more on the outside of the armpits, elbows facing back. We're going to tuck the back toes, pushing up into high plank, or your high plank, pushing the hips up and back for a downward facing dog. Feel free to bend the knees, pedal the feet. Keeping that micro bend in the knees. We're going to walk the palms towards the feet. Still keeping that slight bend in the knees. Just slowly, with control, we're going to roll all the way up to standing. And once you reach the top, we're just going to roll the shoulders back, opening up the chest, opening up the throat. And relaxing the shoulders, slowly bringing into stillness, opening up the palms by our sides. Feeling strong here. Inhaling, rising the arms up above your heads for extended mountain pose. And hinging at the hips, we're going to swan dive all the way down to a forward fold. Inhaling, pressing on the shins. Spine reaching long for flat back. Exhaling, forward fold. Inhaling, pressing on the shins, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhaling, pressing on the shins. Exhaling, forward fold, bending the knees, belly on top of thighs. Inhaling, straightening the legs. Exhaling, bend. Inhale, straighten the legs. Exhale, bend, belly on top of thighs. Inhale, straighten, hold for 4. Exhale, bend, belly on top of thighs. We're going to walk the palms all the way into your high plank. Feeling strong in your high plank. Engaging with your core. With control, slowly lowering down towards the ground. With your mat, chaturanga, rising up into up dog or cobra. Engaging with the lower back. And sitting the hips down and back for a child pose. And coming out of your last cycle of breath, we're going to tuck the back toes, pushing the hips up and back for another downward facing dog. Feel free to keep a slight micro bend to your knees. Rising up the right leg. I'm going to bend the right knee. We're going to float the right knee towards the chest and gently drop the leg onto the floor between the palms, going into your pigeon pose. You can stay up high in your pigeon, or you can come down here and rest low into your pigeon, whatever you choose to do. Breathe into your stretch. Being mindful of the breath. And finishing up on your last cycle of breath, we're going to tuck the left toes. Bring that right leg back to meet the left. Going back into the downward facing dog. Bending the knees, pedaling the feet. Rising up the left leg. We're going to bend that left knee. And we're going to float that left knee towards the chest. And with control, lower that knee between the palms, going into your pigeon pose on the left side. And if you want to, feel free to take this time to take a water break. And finishing up on your last cycle of breath, we're going to tuck the right toes. And we're going to bring this left leg back to meet the right. Going into another downward facing dog. And with control, slowly bringing the knees towards the mat. And we're going to make our way onto our sits bones. So meet a knee there. We're going to tuck the left leg in, keeping the right leg long. Sitting up nice and tall. Flexing that right foot. We're going to crawl the hands down the right leg, grabbing the shin or the foot, hinging at the hips. We're going to use our breath as a guide to lower our chest, closer and closer towards our leg. Excuse me. Whenever you're ready, you can round your spine. And then your last exhale, you can release, bringing the spine back to center. With the right palm, we're going to reach over, grabbing the left knee, rising the left arm up and over, stretching the whole left side body. Breathe into your stretch. And your last exhale, you can release, bringing the spine back to center. You can release the left leg long. And we're going to tuck in the right leg. Left leg nice and long. Spine reaching nice and tall. Crawling the hands down the left leg. Grabbing the shin or the foot. Hinging at the hips. We're going to use our breath as a guide to lower our chest towards our leg. And whenever you're ready, you can round your spine. If you haven't, And on your last exhale, you can release, bringing the spine back to center. With the left palm, we're going to grab the right knee, stretching the right arm up and over, stretching the whole right side body. Breathe in through your stretch. And on your last exhale, you can release, bring the spine back to center, releasing the right leg long. We're going to plant the feet into the floor, knees facing towards the sky, stretching both our arms out nice and long, engaging with our core. We're slowly going to lower ourselves back without straining our legs, engaging with the core. And when you reach the floor, we're going to bring the feet together like a prayer, opening up the thighs for reclined butterfly. Being mindful of the breath. With control, we're just gently going to rise the knees back towards the ceiling, planting the feet into the floor. With control, we're gently going to rock the knees from side to side. And slowly bringing the rocking to stillness. We're going to extend the left leg long, keeping the right knee still bent. With the left palm, we're going to grab the outside of the right knee, and we're going to place the right knee over towards the left side for a twist. Opening up the right side, looking over the right shoulder to deepen your twist. And on your last exhale, you can release, letting that right leg hang long, extending it long. I'm just gonna bend the left knee. With that right palm, we're gonna grab the outside of the left knee. We're gonna place the left knee over towards the right side for a twist on the other side. Opening up the left side. If you look over the left shoulder, you can deepen, twist. And with control, we're gonna bring that left leg back to meet the right. We're gonna rise the hips up into the air, grabbing the outsides of our feet for happy baby. And feel free to give yourself a gentle rock from side to side if that feels good for you. And with control, we're going to bring our knees towards our belly or towards our chest, curling up into a little ball. And with control, releasing all of the limbs back into the floor. We're just going to lay here, going into Savasana. Just laying here in the body. Feeling all the vibrations, hearing all the sounds. The more relaxed your body is, the better those sensations will be. Wiggling the fingers, wiggling the toes, bringing some movement back to the body. Still hanging on to those sensations if you picked up on any. And rolling to the right or left side for a moment of comfort. And pushing up into a seated position so we can close before closing breaths. When you're ready, meeting me in a comfortable seat, bringing the hands together at heart center. We're going to end today's session before closing breaths. A breath for our ancestors and the indigenous people who was here before colonization. Breathing in. A breath to thank yourself for your practice today. Breathing in. A breath to thank yourself. A breath to thank others for their support. Breathing in. And a breath for our virtual yoga community and for future classes and the growth of our community. Breathing in. The loving human in me bows down to the loving human in you. Namaste. Thank you for joining me today. Today's session, Library Flow. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Please share and subscribe. Again, we are the Glitter Goddess Collective. I'm Trent. And yeah, if you want to see more, please let us know what you want to see more of. What do you want to see in the coming future? You can also Venmo us at the Glitter Goddesses. All donations go to POC, trans, and queer families. And again, thank you for joining me today. Today's session. We have yoga normally weekly, 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. Additional classes on Thursdays at 5 p.m. Again, please share and subscribe. Thank you for joining me today. And I hope everyone has a fine day. And then get out and get some sun and enjoy the weather. Thanks again.